So in this lecture, we will try to add an event with a text box. Let's practically try to deal with it. Let's add an input instead of get data. I will say input type equal to text. So you see that the text box appears. Now ideally we use the onChange event, which is fired on every change of the content. You can check my JavaScript tutorial to know in depth how events work. Now let's remove the onClick of division and add onChange here in the input, and here I'll say get data, and instead of e.target.innerHTML I will say .value. Now let's try to see the output. I will just refresh and I will enter data here. I'll say A, B, C, and you see every time I enter it displays the value. Even if I press backspace, it executes with the updated text box value. So this is how the event with the text box is handled. Let's try to update the state. Let's implement functionality where whatever you type inside the text box should be updated on this H1. So here I'm going to first of all import the use state hook, and let me just create the header. I'll say const h, set h, and this is an array, is equal to use state, and let's have a default string. I'll say default, and here whenever the event is fired, what we want is that set h e.target.value. So the value which is updated will be assigned to the state h. That's it. Now let's just refresh and try to observe the output. So we enter the value here, and as you see that whatever type is displayed in the h1, and if I just say backspace, then also it updates in the h1. So this is how the state is updated with text box. Now let's talk about a relative question, that is, how do you update the state value when the data entered in the text box? So as we have seen that we do call the e.target.value, and we have the setter function for the state. Important point here is that we have the synthetic event, that is the object e, which has the reference of that element and the value which helps you to refer the content.